Voices.
Is that perfect timing, dude?
Perfect timing. Hey, everyone. Episode 33 of the Mid-Geek Crisis. My name is Joe, and I'm going to start even with dogs barking because apparently there's nothing I can do to get them to shut up.
Well, I mean, we finally have an audience, right? That's
Right, there we go. Someone's listening. We're not listening to us. Hey, guys. It's Tuesday, middle or start of E3. I don't know. You know how to call it.
Yeah,
it's right in the middle of E3. So the show floor opens up tomorrow, I think, or today, first day, and we're in the middle of E3, guys, and it has been already a roller coaster. Things have been announced since Saturday of this past week, and we got a lot to talk about, but at the same time, we're not gonna rehash. There's way too many places you can read all this up. I could just link 3 articles and you can read everything you want. We're going to talk about the stuff that maybe we weren't announced or that we were excited for or we weren't excited for. Now we are, and maybe little things on how these things affect our kids and how it affects just what we want to do.
Yeah, just what's going on with gaming from our perspective as a family gentleman and older gentleman.
So I guess, we can kind of timeline this with at least footnote some of the big companies and see what would be something we would be interested in out of the big ones. And right out of the gate, Saturday was EA.
Yeah.
So EA, especially for the old fogies, I'm sure even for the young crowd, the EA has gotten a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But for us, I'm beyond done with EA. I haven't purchased an EA game, like an actual, like gave EA any money in at least 3 years. At least I think.
When did Star Wars Battlefield 1 come out? Whatever that was.
3 years ago.
That was the last game I outright purchased, right? Because I'm a Star Wars fan. But Star Wars 2, I managed not to buy.
I did not buy Battlefield 2.
Yeah, I couldn't bring it.
The loot box debacle and all of that, and pay to win. I just didn't want it. And I thought they would have learned after the first game where the sales were bad because of the amount of like content, the trickle content, where they pretty much gave us an eighth of a game, and by the time it was over and done with, they still felt incomplete, but they were already
like an eighth of a game.
It was like an eighth of a game when the game finally finished, and then they were like, here's part 2, and we're like, I don't want part 2, I just want you to give me all of part 1. So,
part 1 would have been so great if it just had a campaign that like was enjoyable to play. It was just,
and then part 2 gave us a campaign with
that's very good.
With we had what's her name, Shiva, the actor that plays Shiva on the League, Gianna.
I don't know. She's only Shiva.
Well, her name is Gianna Javankar, I think is what it is. I'll take a look at it, but it's pretty close to that. Her last name's heard. But anywho, EA kind of gives us the same old. We get the Maddens, we get the FIFAs, and honestly, that's where they make their money. They are the equivalent of, they are kind of the Konami of the US, where Konami is all about the gambling machines, and that's where they make most of their money. But then they kind of like feed us these small little things, and they act like they're big because they were given the Disney license to make these Jedi games and these Star Wars games, but then they blew it all on cocaine.
They really squandered the goodwill of the fans at a time period where I think Disney was excited to reboot the goodwill of the fans, right?
Yeah. They gave it to DICE, right? We were like, ooh, DICE. They gave us Battlefield, but then it was kind of like DICE at name or DICE because. But
this, not to, because everyone knows this, right? We rehashed this, but so this E3, they announced another Star Wars game, right? Which we knew was coming out. It was part of associated with that thing. We've already expressed our kind of half-hearted excitement,
right? So, and I wanna kind of now that we've seen the footage and we've read so much on it, and right before the show even started, that was one of the first things you said. You were like, I read more and more on it, and you felt,
like when the developer was saying that, you know, his influences for this, or their influences for this game, is nice Metrovania and Dark Souls. It felt like this was like a keyword game. Like they hit all the right keyword. Like if they had said Battle Royale, Fortnite-ish base building, I would have not been surprised at that point, right? It just, it felt like they were
I don't
hitting
know what the multiplayer for this game is.
Huh? Well, that's true. Oh my god, I'd be so like, I'd be like, oh god, I can't believe we were right. So disappointed in how right we were. But it just didn't feel like there was. I mean, obviously they put love and passion into this. They're very excited about it, and it's a good studio that's putting it out there, right? We can't blast them for it, but it's just it's not,
well, we talked about how,
and it looks beautiful.
It's Respawn.
It's Respawn, and they put out great games, but I just can't bring myself to be excited about it right now because it just looks like Star Wars by the numbers. It looks like a real safe bet.
I can't.
That's boring.
Someone else, we had a conversation with someone else who said they read a story about, or they read somewhere. Again, this is just hearsay, folks, and don't take it as gospel. But from my understanding, is these guys, Respawn was already making this game.
Yep.
And they took and slapped the Star Wars universe on top of whatever game they were already making. Apparently, it was supposed to be magic based and like still had some of these powers.
That was also the rumor I heard about Destiny, and not Destiny, was it
Anthem? I think, right? No,
Destiny. Destiny.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds right, but
it sounds right when you look at the game. Look. I'll be honest with you.
But it's Star Wars, man. You can't mess with Star Wars canon. Like, the story has to be part of the Star Wars universe.
So I think what they did is they built an engine around maybe a game that they wanted to make it, and then they modified it to be. And
they slapped Star Wars on it. We'll see if they release another game with that engine, right? That's right.
You know, look.
Anyway, EA opened the show with a who cares? Yeah. For us.
I mean, and again, I want to emphasize. I want to like this Star Wars game. We talk about Star Wars a lot on this, but the protagonist doesn't excite me. The game looks like everything I've already played before. The mechanics.
It looks like Star Wars Warhammer 40K, right? The Inquisition is hunting down Jedi, and I'm like, didn't Darth Vader hunt down the Jedi?
Didn't we do this on Star Wars Unleashed? Didn't we get 2 games based on that entire process?
But everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to play the Edgelord Jedi. Everyone wants to play that Edgelord Jedi, and that's what they keep. I don't want to play the Edgelord Jedi. I'm tired of Edgelord Jedis, but everyone wants to keep making games about Edgelord. Are they good? Are they bad? Do they use the dark side? Blah blah blah. No, I don't want to play that. I'd be happy if they let me play a Rebellion Soldier, Siphon Filter style. Like, why not? Why not give me a good spy game?
Supposed to get that, right? Weren't we supposed to get that with was it 1313 or whatever it was supposed to be the
give me a cool spy game with freaking Rebellion. Let me play an actual rebel instead of the freaking Jedi. Whatever. It's whatever. Anyway,
it's power dynamic, right? Every video game wants us. They want to eventually build us up as a stat character that where you can just like walk in and blow everything up. But then, like I said, they already gave us that with Unleashed. I felt like we were an overpowered Jedi that could like bring down Star Destroyers with our mind. So like, I don't
get completely bonkers, right? It just
Right, so I don't know. Did you read the hook on this? Like, this character apparently his force manipulation, he can control time.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got like a time thing. So like, I don't know if you saw any of the major gameplay, but there's stormtrooper can shoot you the laser midair. You literally freeze time in a specific way. You're not holding the ray there. You're freezing time. You then can pull the stormtrooper to you, move him in front of the laser blast, and then let him unfreeze time.
That's kind of neat.
But I'm like, that's already overpowered. You literally gave a Jedi the control of time.
Is it time, or is it like a quantum break thing, or a super fast? Like, easy the Flash? The Flash could. You know who else could do that? Sonic the Hedgehog, right? I'm just checking the box here, people. Sonic the Hedgehog. Fortnite. I did Fortnite right at the beginning. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, no, look, I I'm trying to get off the subject, but at the same time,
if the gameplay is solid, that's great. I'm down with it. It's not a very exciting looking game for me right now.
Yeah.
Right. I'm excited for the. I mean, like, I like time mechanics in video games. They make for cool video games, right? But it just, whatever. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So that was Saturday. Blah, like it was pretty blah.
Blah blah blah.
But then Sunday came, and Sunday was the big one because they were one of the only two big console makers.
It was Xbox Sunday, right?
It was Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
And man, they came out of the gate pretty much established on what they were going to talk about, and they laid it out like this: Game Pass, the future of Xbox, and the fact that we purchased 13 new studios in the past couple years.
Double Fine.
That was the 14th studio. Out of nowhere.
Did anyone even know they bought Double Fine?
No, no one knew it was announced on stage. They purchased.
It's like they signed it backstage. It's like they saw the Double Fine guys like, hey, you want to get bought? And Double Fine's like, what's your price? And Microsoft was like, boom, done. Like it wasn't. I feel like we should have heard a rumor at some point or another.
No, it was just out of nowhere, which is interesting to me because so many games, especially Psychonauts 2, which is coming out, is announced to come out for PlayStation 4. So now here we have a game that's controlled by Microsoft yet again and going to be released on the Sony console.
Who gives a shit about exclusives anymore, right?
Xbox
Microsoft wants to be the platform that you play your games on. That's what they are. They don't.
There's still the elephant in the room for exclusives because the people that hold on to the Sony pillar of gameplay is the fact that Sony has got these amazing studios that make exclusive games exclusively for that platform. So Sony has that going for it, and
that's all they have going for it.
But it still kept them on top of the. When we talk about money, I don't care. Like our favorites are our favorites. We play games that we want to play. That's us. I'm talking about just the logistics of money and business, and Sony is still on top sales-wise because of that. And
Xbox went a different strategy.
They went a different strategy, and it cost them at the beginning. They're now catching up, but I think what they are doing right here, what they've announced here, is going to set them for front row and top of the heap next generation.
I think so. I think letting some of your games out into the Ecoverse and letting people try it, and then seeing that studio is owned by Microsoft will bring people back. People are going to play. I mean, they're going to be. I mean, more two-system households, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a two-system household, right? So, I never read PlayStation news. I just don't. I don't want another console because I'm a madman, right? I mean, I do. I want the Switch because I like the idea of mobile gaming, but I don't want to get to the next level on that one yet. So anyway, Xbox was very exciting, although it didn't feel as surprising as it could have been, except for the double fine purchase.
I think the biggest surprise out of everything was we got. So let's talk about a couple things, which again you probably are like meh, but one big announcement for fans was Phantasy Star Online 2, which was a game that had been out in Japan and had never been even hinted at coming out to the US, and Microsoft found a way to pull them in.
I feel like I have like 3 friends who are such hardcore Phantasy Star fans that are losing their minds over it. I'm happy for them.
I had a couple of them that were just like out of their freaking mind that this.
Yeah, I played Phantasy Star. I don't know, like 10,000 years ago, right? Really good game, but it's so old to me. I don't even have like a nostalgic feeling to it being out. Like I don't know. Some fans have held on to it though, and good for them. Have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun.
A bunch of games, a bunch of exclusives, but now we got to talk about when we talk about exclusives for Microsoft is not a single game that they announced was exclusive console. Everything was console, PC. Mm-hmm. So this basically gave them a way for even a person that owns a Sony PlayStation, if they just want to own a PC, then you are going to be playing a Microsoft game.
I mean, most likely they own a PC, right? I mean, I don't want to say most households, but most households have a PC and a console of some sort or other if there's a gamer in the house, right? So yeah. And if Microsoft gets you on the PC but not on the console, they're still winning because they're putting games out on both now, which is great for, I think, everyone. I'm really excited for that sort of Xbox Pass, the cross gardening, the game's going to be on both, the access to everything. The Xbox Pass gets better and better. It's too good a deal now. I mean, what do you play right now on the Xbox Pass?
What am I playing on the Xbox Pass right now? I actually am playing the Void Bastards. I started playing that.
So good.
It's so good.
Beautiful cell shaded. It's going to get me through my single player experience to Borderlands 3. It's great. Good roguelike.
I just installed the DLC for Borderlands 2, which was free for this month for Handsome Collection. I go through and play a bunch of little games.
And if no one knows this, the Handsome Collection is going to be on Xbox Pass next month, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not like you can't play it next month for free.
Right.
Which is great.
I mean, there's tons of things that they announced that are coming, but my biggest excitement for this was that this is an E3. And they announced all these exclusive, and I say exclusive with parentheses now because Microsoft, the pillar that is Xbox, which is now PC and Xbox, every game that they announce, I will have. I won't have to worry about spending $60 on any one of these games because if you don't know, and this is a hint for you, and a tip for anybody, they have turned on Xbox Ultimate Game Pass is what they're calling it.
Oh, so I should already start saving money now, is what you're saying?
Well, let me tell you, there is a loophole right now. If you go out and go to some particular websites and purchase a year or two of Xbox Live, like the full blast one, the $40, $50, whatever, spend $80 on that right now, you upgrade your account to Xbox Live, you add those years to it now, and then you turn on the Xbox Ultimate, it will upgrade your account all the way to 2021, which is the maximum amount. So wow. I now have Xbox Live Ultimate, which is the $14.99 a month, which is Xbox Game Pass for PC and home and gold, all in one package for $14.99 a month is what they're going to charge for someone who just wants to go month to month. And I have it now till 2021.
Because you went out to like Amazon and bought those 1-year cards.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome. I need to do that. Although it's a big cash outlay today.
Right, today. But I mean, it's one of those things that, and the upgrade for the thing is $1, and then it gets you up. And there's loopholes. I'll see if I can find a link and put us in the people were talking.
Yeah, I gotta do it because I just paid for my Live for this year. It resets in March for me, so I just paid.
So if you paid for it, that means you've got March till now. So that means if you upgraded, you would have it till maybe March or April.
Oh, so I would only need to probably buy 1 year. Yeah, no, I need to do the math. Let's write this down. Why don't you text me these things when they happen? You wait until the show to announce it?
Yeah. Well, gotta catch a surprise about something.
So if you do the math, everyone, I think it's like $30 savings over subscribing to both separately. So it's totally worth it now, right? You save $30 for the whole thing. And you get it on your PC, which you didn't have before.
So we're gonna hop on theme here with the show. And while there was a lot of things that I would love to sit here and talk about with the Xbox, I want to talk about some of the games that were announced that I'm excited to play with my kids. And one? So I'm going to start with one, and that is Battletoads.
Like the Nintendo?
Yeah. So
I saw that was being redone, put out there.
It's the reboot, remaster, redone, whatever. It's just a whole new Battletoads game. Remember, it's owned by Rare, which Rare is owned by Microsoft, which was purchased many years back, taken away from the clutches of Nintendo, and so it became Microsoft's baby for many years, and they have owned the license to Battletoads and done nothing with it. And we had a hint. I want to say last year, the year before last, we had Phil Spencer with a Battletoads shirt on stage, but nothing ever came of it. The only thing that came of it is Rash, I think is his name, or that one of the Battletoads is a character in Killer Instinct.
So can we just take a step back for a second?
Right.
Battletoads and Battletoads 2 were very hard platformer style games, right? That's it, right? They weren't They weren't like a giant franchise like Super Mario Brothers. They were just two hard games that gamers
They had a
kind
couple
of
crossovers. Some love. They had an arcade machine. It was a big arcade machine.
Okay, all
It
right.
was a brawler arcade machine, and then they had the NES game, which is infamous.
Because I always think of them as like the monkeys of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Kind of, but because they had no cartoon. It was just this
nothing. They were just like a ripoff.
Kind of. They were like frogs as opposed to turtles, but and they were more kind of.
They were toads. Toads are different from frogs.
Toads, yeah,
No disrespect to the frogs out there.
So yeah, but one thing they announced is they gave us a 2D kind of over-exaggerated Saturday morning cartoon is what they called it, animation.
That's cool.
It's 3-player couch co-op.
3-player couch co-op.
Which is me, my oldest son, and my youngest son get to sit down. Pick
perfect number
of players to yell at each other.
Dude, and I'll tell you what, playing couch co-op with my daughter has involved me really trying to figure out how not to yell.
Test patience.
Oh, dude.
You haven't, I don't know, I mean, you've been playing some pretty good games like Celeste with her, which are giving her some good...
Well, Celeste is great because you can turn on all the cheats, right? So she just basically flies around the screen and tries to get things is where she finds
That's right.
When she watches me play without the cheats, she's like, "What are you doing, Dad? You died 195 times on that one screen." I'm like, "Shut up, I'm trying."
Nothing makes you feel old when you play a game that you as a kid you would have been like, meh, fly through it, and then you're like, why am I dying when I have to hit a button again, and then another button, like just in a specific pattern? Like, I don't get it. All of a sudden, like,
there's nothing more
are these hands old now?
Yeah, they're gnarled.
They're gnarled and old? Do I not know these hands? Grip your sword. You know, know this hand. It's like what is it? The king from Lord of the Rings when he comes out of his like spell, and it's like grip your sword so he may remember. You know, like it's right. It's like I don't feel anything. I don't.
Nerd. I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, I don't. Celeste is one of those satisfying to games though, because it's really like. There are some times where I'm like, oh God, I can't believe this. Like the boss fights, or I'm like, oh, another screen. Like I can't do another screen. I've done 8. My heart. I got to take medication. I can't do another screen. It's rough. And Battletoads is a game I remember being like that hard.
Yeah, there was the motorcycle, the air motorcycle thing where you're like,
you're playing the game and you're just like, and you throw it across the room.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, fuck, and you'd grab the cable and bring it back and try
exactly, and try again. And then eventually you'd win, and nothing was more satisfying than beating a game like that. So that's one that I'm excited for.
I like it. I'm excited for Minecraft Dungeons. I mean, that's a 2020 release, but it looks... I mean, like, I like Diablo games. I like the loot grind of it. I like the co-op aspect of it, and it looks like a total blast. And you know, my daughter's already familiar with Minecraft, so she at least knows the rules of the game. She knows the way the boxy characters look, and I think she'd be thrilled to play a game like that with me. So I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for, like we mentioned before. First off, Minecraft. So my kiddos watched the trailer and were like, "Oh!" Yeah. And I'm like, but they immediately were like, "Is this story mode?" Like they were calling the characters by their names from story mode.
There you go.
And I was like, "No, this is something else." They were like, I don't understand that. So that it goes to show that kids really jump on any type of like franchise that uses it. So like Minecraft had Minecraft, they play Minecraft and they call Steve, they know Steve. And then they saw story mode that gave them a story, and so they have these like female character, male character, and they've got these names. And so they saw these characters running around. They're like, "Oh, that's so and so." I'm like, "Maybe? No, I think those are custom characters, kiddo." And like, "Oh,
so wait, I haven't played story mode. I thought that was like a Telltale Games kind of."
It is.
Oh, okay.
You can play it on. There's an iPad version, which gives them it's really fun for the kids, and both of my kiddos like to play it. What's great though is. If you don't want to play it, or if you don't want to, like, you know, whatever, Netflix has story mode, the entire Minecraft story mode, like game as a movie, as like an animated movie, so they can watch it like a 30-minute or an hour long like movie.
It's just like cutscenes, or is it like an actual?
Yeah, it's like the cutscene. It's like the entire cutscene's formed into like a big movie.
That's kind of clever.
Yeah, that was fun.
Netflix is coming out with the game. Did you see that?
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Right.
We'll get there. I want to talk about that a little bit, but because I'm excited for that one for my kids.
I thought you were segueing. I misinterpreted.
No, but I am going to segue to this. Another game, one of my personal favorites, and my kids loved a lot, is watching me play Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, that's a good one. Solid game.
The sequel comes out February 11th, which again, 2020. I was really hoping for the fall, but Ori and the Will of the Wisps is coming out, and that looks.
Why do you want a game in the fall?
It's just I plan my Fallout.
Borderlands 3.
Oh, I know.
You
You're
got
right.
no other game. You got no other game you're going to play. You're going to buy all the other games. You're going to be like, but I'm going to play Borderlands 3. Like, that's come on. Just book 3 months for Borderlands.
Now,
3. I'm happy.
One game this is daddy game, and I figured it's a Pedro game. Were you an Age of Empires player?
So I played it. I feel like I played it when it first came out, and I also may have played it on the DS. Was there a DS version of Age of Empires?
I think there was. There was like a weird, like kind of a small version,
turn-based, small version, like a Civilization.
Well, they re-announced the definitive edition of Age of Empires 2 with remastered audio and 4K graph. Either way, it's coming out again, and I think it's interesting because they've kind of moved on from Age of Empires 2, but they kind of went back and were like, this is the one that everyone likes to play.
That's the one that everyone likes to play. I think it's the one that I played, actually. And is it Xbox Pass compatible? Because that means I can play it on my PC, which is where I'm supposed to play it, right?
Yes, it is, because it's a Microsoft Studios game or an Xbox Game Studios now.
Yeah, because I don't want to play a game like that on the console. I always found those RTSs impossible to play on the console.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But remember, you can plug a keyboard and mouse into your Xbox.
Yeah, I just haven't done it.
I know. I'm just saying you can.
I know. I just haven't done it.
Oh man! Okay, so now that said, lots of games, lots of games coming out.
Co-op games, which I'm excited for.
I want to get to the meat and potatoes of Sunday, which was Microsoft's big announcement at the end, which was their next console, and that was again, we don't have a name, but they've kind of gone. This is on brand with them. They did this with the Xbox One X when they announced their Project Scorpio, and now they've got Project Scarlet. Now, I wanted to talk about this with you specifically because this is on brand with the entire show of what we've been talking about on the future of gaming and backwards compatibility,
right,
and Xbox Game Pass as a whole, and where we have kind of used our Nostradamus brain to kind of guess where Microsoft was going, because we were like, this has been weird. Why are they just now a service? They really kind of half turned on me with it. They surprised me because they said something that was kind of interesting, and they were like, no, they pardon the Ziggy Big Nuts here, they kind of used that terminology and were like, we're going to do both pillars. They pretty much said, we are going to dominate the operating system that we already own by creating a gaming service that gives you a ton of free games with a small fee that you already have if you have an Xbox, and then you can play them on your PC that you can deck out for $5,000 or whatever. At the same time, we're still going to make a console that's more powerful than all the other consoles out there. And this console will play all 4 generations of our previous
It's a bold
games.
claim, man. I mean, 4 generations of games is a lot of games.
They got close enough with the Xbox. Remember, they released... So, and again, today was the final backwards compatibility.
And it was it's like another 25 games on that list.
It's like another 25 to 30 games, and they announced another like 7 or 8 Xbox original games remastered. So a good one that I actually was going to pop in sometime this week is the Splinter Cell games.
You know, I saw them on the list and I was like, those were great games.
Right.
Play those
and again, back to the fact that here's two big companies, Nintendo and Microsoft kind of ran everything here. Everyone else, Ubisoft did have their own thing, but they didn't announce a Splinter Cell game.
Nope.
Yet again, I'm like, they even had the kind of like a not leak, where the Twitter handle guy accidentally like changed the icon to the Twitter to a Splinter Cell thing, and he was like, oh wait, no, and they changed it back, and it was like, did you just leak something for E3?
We saw you.
Yeah, we saw you. And they're like, no, just kidding. And then they joked it, and they changed the banner to Splinter Cell just because it's a brand thing. We own it, whatever. And I thought they were like, oh, really? That they just accidentally leaked it. No, they didn't leak it. They accidentally did just change it for fun, and they had nothing to show. which really was like, wow, that just goes to show that what everyone wants and you guys aren't listening.
Is it the weird thing to me is like, are all their icons and banners just in like one big mess of a folder, and the poor intern just like double clicked it? It was like, oops.
I like Sam Fisher. Yeah, it looks cool. And all of a sudden it blew up the internet. Everyone was like, oh, we're getting a freaking Splinter Cell game.
One thing that's interesting, I wonder, like, again, one of my constant harps is data, right? Like, Xbox has all this data. I wonder if putting out, like, Splinter Cell again on Xbox Pass and seeing how many people download it,
totally.
how many people play it.
Yes.
It makes people want to, it makes maybe the developer be like, a lot of people are playing this old game that's been remastered. Let's make a new one. Right? Like, 100%. It's just like...
You are absolutely right. And I'm not going to lie.
How many times have they put out Perfect Dark, dude? They're putting out Perfect Dark again. I'm just like, all right, Golden Isle style multiplayer combat. Let's do it. Like,
they own the company. Microsoft is like, we own Rare. Let's do it.
Keep putting it out there. So
yeah, so that was a big one. I thought that was cool. The entire Master Chief Collection and Halo Reach are now PC.
Awesome.
Just a ton of content. I can't emphasize enough, guys. Pick up the Game Pass in some way, shape, or form. If you're a PC gamer, get it. Go look at that list. I guarantee you, out of the 100+ games for that PC, over 100 games, there's one game on there that might be worth the $10 a month that you pay if that's all you got.
Yep.
It just is. It's cheaper. It's Humble Bundle / Netflix.
And more games are going to come that way. And if you're already a console gamer, it's a win-win.
Right. And again, every major game they announced.
And we're not paid, by the way.
We're not paid. I kind of wish we were.
Two poor fathers who want to play lots of games.
Value.
The money. And
the one thing we didn't talk about, and we did talk about it pre-show, but I want to talk about it again, is the big announcement as well. After all of this like big bravado of Microsoft of like, here are all these games, bam, 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 all exclusive to Xbox PC, was the purchase of Double Fine.
Dude, I don't... I was like,
of nowhere. Out of nowhere. And again, the younger folk, I've got friends that are in their 20s are like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, no, you guys don't get it. Like, Double Fine is big, and
Schaefer. Surprised how many games they were around doing. Yeah,
Schaefer. What's his name? The big dude is big dude. Like he's a good developer. He's a good storyteller, and there are a ton of games on your Sony PlayStation if you're a Sony guy that are Double Fine games. If you play Gang Beasts, Double Fine. I mean,
I'm excited for the idea that those games might be coming to Xbox Pass.
Oh yeah.
Why not bring the catalog over? It's gonna be great. A little Double Fine folder at the corner.
So us as being big PAX East goers, Double Fine has a booth every year, and they're always really like one of the nicest booths. They're always really approachable and real nice. Now that booth will be part of the Microsoft booth, or it'll be their next.
Dude, it's just going to be a huge area of Microsoft booths. Just going to be like just and all these.
Flex! Look at this! Look what we own!
I just hope next year they keep handing out those Xbox passes.
Oh my god! I'm just gonna. But it's funny because
my brother walked away with 14 of them. Which is like, nice work.
Yeah, and then at South, I got a ton of months. Look, what I'm saying is, I've gone to multiple trade shows. You've gone to multiple trade shows. These past 2 years at East were very hush with Microsoft. They didn't show anything. They had nothing to show. South was very quiet with them.
Well, this last East they had their indie studios, right? That you could
they had their Xbox ID booth, just fine. I'm not saying that all those guys deserve, because you got to play. What is it? After Party.
Yeah, After Party. That's
which was fantastic, and they showed a little bit of it in the little sizzle reel. And I got to play Supermarket Street, which I thought was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, they just got these fun games that are great little Xbox Pass games, ones I wouldn't spend money on.
Right, but now you get to play them, and the developers are going to get money from it in some way, even if it's the stream model of Spotify, where musicians don't make any money, and I get it, and these developers. But some of these games might not even ever have been
owned by Microsoft, so they're already getting money, right? They're already being endorsed and support. It's like Netflix has their own studios in house, right? It's
right.
That exact thing. So anyway, I don't know. It was great. I'm excited for those games. Double Fine blew my mind. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I don't know the order of things. I mean, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead in your mental schedule, but 2077 was
That was also Xbox,
that
and
was also Xbox, right?
Xbox exclusive, I think.
That put my mind back together, I think, right? So I brought it back.
Right.
I was like, I need to pay attention to this.
Yeah, so we had a conversation, post-show, pre-show, one of these shows, where we talked about how we're not super fans of CD Projekt Red just because of their some of their practices and whatnot, and a little problematic, and they're in a predominantly I think they're Swedish or whatever, so they're very white guy male unapologetically very just and Cyberpunk looked again, and there was already some controversy. We're like, where are the black people of color of some sort? Anybody? Where's the shades in this game?
Yeah.
And there wasn't. They kind of turned that around a little bit.
They had a few.
They had a few people of color, even if it was a villain. But I mean, it's still, he looked cool. He was a cool looking character. And the gameplay, I mean, even the protagonist doesn't look exactly like a white guy. I mean, I feel like maybe there's maybe a Cortez or a Ramirez or
why can't I develop
just
him?
choose? I know.
Maybe
we will. Maybe that he's
That's
not
true.
because at the end they just kind of show the hand, and then the big drop was Keanu Reeves.
What? Johnny Mnemonic. Wait, no, that's not right.
Mr. 2099. Mr. 2019. I mean, he's everywhere this year. I don't know. He feels like The Rock a few years back, or Kevin Hart 2 years ago. Keanu Reeves is the year of Reeves.
I mean, he's the greatest dude in Hollywood, right? He's got no taint on him. He's just got this halo of perfection. John Wick, he's delivered ever since The Matrix. He's been delivering movie after movie after movie,
hit after hit. Just kind of doing his own.
Bill
thing.
and Ted. I mean, actually, has he delivered any movies that I mean, he's delivered some romantic comedies. I wasn't a big fan of.
We can call them bad movies, or we can call them Keanu Reeves movies. As in,
there you go.
They're we don't hate them, but what was that? I had an old friend of mine that loved one of his movies. It was the Lake House. Do you remember that movie? It was a weirdest movie, and if stop me if you heard this or if you want to hear more. He owns a house, and he's got a mailbox, and the mailbox is time connected between the future and the now. So
he's leaving letters in it, right?
So he leaves letters in it, and it said when he closes it,
it's based on the books, a weird
and so they're having a romantic connection with someone. Eventually, at some form in time in the future, the times
they finally meet.
So which was a romantic movie, and that was a Keanu Reeves movie, and I was like, yeah, weird. What a weird concept. But I feel like he's always been attached to weird sci-fi kind of movies.
He picks up a script and he's like, I'll do this. Why not?
Yeah.
But he's not Nicolas Cage.
But he's not. That's exactly what I'm but he's not Nicolas Cage. I think he kind of goes. I think he goes. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I can see that. I can see this.
I'll do my own stunts too, and I'll be amazing. Let's go. Yeah, he's great.
Keanu Reeves kind of saved the day, and he was like, "You're awesome," and you're whatever, and yeah.
I guess they gave out free copies of the game there too. So
they gave that guy. So there was a guy that said, "You're out. What is it? You're amazing," or whatever. Hey everybody, you're amazing, and someone goes, "No, you're amazing," and then he goes, "You're amazing." But the guy who yelled it out, apparently, they got
a free game. Good for him.
Yeah.
Hopefully he puts something up so we know what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things we talked about pre-show was gameplay. I didn't see a lot of gameplay, and this is one of those games that I'm like, okay, but where's the gameplay, right? We can all make a great CGI movie with 1,000 puddles.
And again, stop me if I'm wrong, and for anyone who probably wants to leave comments, hopefully you do. But I was trying to tell him that because this year at E3 was kind of weird. We got almost 4 days of pre-E3 at the start of a weekend, only for the actual trade show to start. So I think these sizzle reels are just so quick now that they're not spending 15 minutes to show gameplay. They're showing a little bit, maybe mostly the story driven, and they go, and then they show all of that in interviews and after the fact. So they'll have maybe a sit down with one of the GameSpot or IGN. The developer will show up and they're like, we're going to do some exclusive gameplay of Cyberpunk 77 on tomorrow.
But like Borderlands 3 is already ahead of the curve then, because they're already putting out
right. But they got to use PAX East as their launch because
Right.
we didn't get any gameplay for Borderlands 3 that day.
We didn't get any gameplay. Yeah,
we did not.
We get shots of what gameplay is going to look like, which is just like Borderlands 2. But,
right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm getting at. I think that's the model right now. Is I think this is my guess. I don't know. I don't work in the industry, but I'm just saying because these days are so jam packed, they know everyone is going to announce something, and someone is going to overshadow someone else. So I think everyone is just announcing, causing the buzz. Everyone moves on to the next thing, which I'll get to that because today was a day that kind of overshadowed everyone else.
Only because you Nintendo fans are.
Well, man, we're just it's the biggest console right now. It outsold the PlayStation 4 already.
I know.
So, I think we're gonna get the gameplay. It's the slow trickle now. Now that these little shows like the GameSpot, IGN have these like.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
So I think we'll get maybe a giant.
I'm like, yeah, you can show me the fluff, but give me the meat. I want to know what.
Borderlands got to walk in and go. Here's gameplay.
Yeah. 10 minutes.
10 minutes of gameplay.
Glorious nostalgia. I just like, why am I not playing this game now? Give it to me.
I was talking to a friend of mine after I watched the video, and I messaged him because he had told me something that happened to him. He could not play Doom, the new one, because he immediately gets sick.
Oh no!
And I watched that gameplay of Borderlands 3, the whole jungle scene and whatnot. And I don't know if it was because he was playing and I wasn't, and I was focusing on something else on the screen, and then the camera moves. Like if you're like a passenger versus a driver. I think that might have been it, but I've never felt sick looking at games like that, and Borderlands 3 made me feel that way. So I'm hoping it wasn't just Borderlands. So we're gonna try again, but. It was definitely 60 frames a second, smooth, buttery video that I was watching. It was just like I got a little woozy, and it took me like 10 minutes for like the headache to go away. That was like right here in the middle of my forehead.
What are we gonna do if you can't play video games anymore? We're gonna have to disown you?
No. I will go to a doctor and have them remove whatever part of the brain. Just like bloodletting or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's worth it.
No, dude. You know what it is? It's that you've been playing so many retro games that you don't even know what it's like to play an awesome modern game. You're like, what is this? That doesn't look pixelated. What? Why is the lighting effect so weird? Whoa, 3D. What's going on?
Yeah. So Microsoft came out, and we're going to talk about what happened on Sunday after the fact. It was later on that Sunday afternoon, and we had Bethesda, and Bethesda came out with.
Well, they apologized. They were like, "We know we didn't do that well. Sorry." So, they had to talk about it. The
hilarious joke about the Bethesda panel booth, whatever it is, they re-announced everything they had already announced.
Yeah,
and they just were like, "Here's Fallout 76. Finally, the completed game, sort of better."
They're bringing in NPCs.
I love that was the big cheer point. They were like. NPCs, and I'm like, you should have fucking had them already. I don't understand.
Because you know why? People are miserable human beings.
Right.
You can't depend on human beings to make content without giving them the tools to control that content. So, Anyway, and then that and Battle Royale. Although, like a Battle Royale in the Fallout universe might be the only universe where it makes sense, but it's still cool.
Right.
It's cool. I'm down.
It's a little too late.
I'm not buying the game. I'm sorry.
No. Well, you know what? No. Actually, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I might buy it only because I saw it for like $7.99.
Hey, if they're handing it out free as I walk out of the GameStop, then I'll grab it. But otherwise,
they did that with Destiny 2.
They did.
Oh, they did. Which Destiny 2, they gave me a free copy of it when you bought another game for a completely different system.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I mean, Destiny. I mean, I know my buddy Astronaut Go plays it nonstop. So
they added new content. One of the big things that they also had their own little like even before E3 announcement where they were like cross save compatibility, which is already something that I have been asking for since Destiny 1, and I think that is removing the reins of Activision, them going, "This is what you guys wanted. Here you go," which is huge.
Because you can play on your PC and then play with me on the Xbox.
Right. I can sit here and play on my PC, you know, with my character, get them leveled up, and then all of a sudden guys go, hey, I want to play this, you know, Destiny again. And I hop on and I can bring my character over without having to start over all over again. It's what happens with every game. And every game should do that. And I think that's going to be the big.
Do you know who made that happen for everybody?
Fallout for Fortnite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fortnite made it happen for everybody. Fortnite proved that it could be done and make it work. And no one had
still make money.
Yeah, and no one had an excuse anymore. And then before anyone could react, Fortnite was on your system with your character. Like, it was just crazy. So, thank you to Fortnite.
Yeah, as much hate as Fortnite gets, because it's really fun to hate the most popular game in the world right now. I'm gonna keep saying that they are awesome.
Yeah, they really changed the whole scope of the way we game and the fact that cross save compatibility.
It's kind of the same thing that I've been reading right now. I feel older and older, especially more as a father and an older man, when I've been reading all this hate towards the Epic Game Store. I don't know if you been following this.
I started reading and I was like, man, does no one remember when Steam first came out? Like,
no one, because they weren't born yet. None of them were born yet. None of them were freaking born. They hadn't been conceived. Their dad was still playing freaking Counter-Strike 1.6.
In my day, I had to go to a dusty electronics boutique and go to
pick up the box, those PC game boxes
which had like a 60% chance of being crushed because they had to stuff so many crushed boxes onto the shelves.
And then you pull it off the back of the shelf. There we go. And then you have to punch in your arcane key.
Dude.
Your arcane key to put it in. And then once you put in this arcane key, you'd install the game. You know, you'd put in your CD and insert your 10 CD discs, not even DVDs, because they couldn't put them in DVD format because not every PC out there came with a DVD player. And then you started getting games that were like 5 CDs or 1 DVD, and you were like, "Oh, what DVD? Yeah,
I might be able to play this game within an hour of me playing."
Now, again, stop me if you haven't heard this. Do you remember buying a game and then it not working, and then you having to go to the arcane website of the developer to find that patch?
Dude.
You know what I mean? Download this patch, and then you'd have to like double click the patch to start a whole new installer, and then it puts it. Put in CD1,
and then it wouldn't work, and someone would be like, you should have installed patch 1.1.
You know what?
Don't do 1.13.
And then Steam came out, and everyone was like, "I don't want DRM on my games. I want to be able to own them on my discs." And I'm like, I get it. I like that for console because it's but PC games were like already buggy and patched to begin with. So here you go. You get to have your library permanently. And everyone hated it. Now everyone's like, I want my Steam. I don't want Epic.
I know, it's so weird.
Nothing makes me feel older than that.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, you whippersnappers. You don't even know how good you have it.
I know.
How hard it was.
Yeah. Look, the Epic Game Store. The Epic Game Store is good for Steam.
It's good. It's not just good for Steam. It's good for everyone. Competition is good.
Competition is good for everybody.
Anybody owning 80-90% of the distribution market. Not good for the publishers. Not good for anyone else. It's great. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. Bethesda had Doom Eternal.
If you don't like it, just don't buy anything there and it'll fail. Like, don't hate it.
Yeah, but you can't because Fortnite's on there. Ha! It won't fail. 50 billion freaking downloads a day of Fortnite. So no, there's not going to happen.
Because they got Fortnite money. They're just like...
no.
Until Fortnite 2 drops, and then everyone's like... Yeah, so...
Yeah. Doom Eternal. We knew it was coming out. It was announced last year. It looks fantastic.
Looks great.
Looks great.
You're a huge Doom fan.
I've already pre-ordered it.
Of course you have.
I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered the PC. It's the only game I will play on PC. I play lots of PC. I have a PC gaming machine. I play a lot of indie games. But Doom and Wolfenstein are 2 games that, while they get announced for consoles, I have never bought them for console. I've been given them, or I've been like,
Mm-hmm.
or
You
for example,
were playing Division on the PC too, right?
yeah.
You didn't.
It's
Yeah.
just because first person shooter, and when it's a first person shooter that I really want to like get into, I figured why not? Like why not PC? And Doom is too twitchy. It's too fast. I tried with a controller. It's free. It's on Xbox Game Pass.
Because you need to get good.
No controller. No, Doom won't work for that. Doom is too like the.
It works fine. It's just
it's
not the same sort of intense speed.
Yeah,
it doesn't play at the level you want to play at.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you read the Division 2 scandal where it turned out that PC players were having an easier time of the raid because they can actually do things like spin fast, and console players just can't react as quickly as that, and they were throttled by frames per second, blah, 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 blah. So, no, definitely is the peasants down here in console land.
So, again, Bethesda didn't have anything else to announce other than maybe a few little things. Like they announced Commander Keen is coming back to a free-to-play mobile game, which was... It's like, really?
Okay.
Commander Keen deserved better.
Are we not done with big studios putting on mobile games? Are we not done with that yet? I don't...
No, we're not.
When does that end? I think...
It doesn't. Nothing silenced the crowd more than when they announced... what is it? There was another mobile game that got real quiet, like one of the Blades games, or one of the mobile games just came out. They were like, in a mobile game, and it was like, did they turn off the audio to the crowd?
Like
no. Yeah, it was literally, the crowd was silent. The mics were still on, so that you could hear no, nothing.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. All right. So Bethesda, blah, blah, blah. Today. Let's just move to today. Because
just jump to Nintendo right now. Just do it. What's the highlight for Nintendo for you, dude? And now Breath of the Wild, okay? Everyone's excited about that for their own reason. Let's talk about something else.
I'm excited for Animal Crossing.
There you go. So what?
My kids, they like it. They like, yeah.
It looks great, and Animal Crossing on the Switch is gonna be, it's gonna be gorgeous.
It looks like there's gonna be multiplayer, like multiple people on your town. Like they showed gameplay, and they had like a lot of other town folk running around your town, your island. Whatever.
And I loved Animal Crossing, the first one, back when it came out 40,000 years ago.
Nook, Tom Nook.
Right?
The joke is, I don't know if you saw the trailer. You should watch the trailer just to get a really good laugh if you're a fan of the Tom Nook.
He owns an airline now? Is that...
He owns like a travel agency. It's like Nook Enterprises or whatever, and he sells you this deserted island package.
That son of a bitch.
And you get to the island, and they show you playing the game and whatnot. At the end of the trailer, they're like, and there you have it. Here's your desert island experience. Here's your bill, and I've itemized it for you. And it's your island and your of course your phone, your smartphone or whatever, your smartphone device and all that. He tells you all, and that'll be 48,000 bells, 48,842 bells. And then the trailer just kind of goes black, and you're like, you're already in debt to him at the beginning of the game by like 50,000 bells. Thanks.
This bastard.
And he owns everything. There's crafting in the game, and you have to go craft it on the Nook station.
Of course you do. It's probably a rental fee for that Nook station. Dude, why haven't there been more spin-off games with like Tom Nook, the perfect capitalist?
It's funny because
and he's always so apologetic about it too. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry you don't have a bed, but I'm selling one for $2,000.
You don't have to pay me now.
No, here you go.
Here you go.
Pay me later." And then you get like letters. Where's my money? Where's my money?
I'm waiting for like the dark version of when you wake up and there's like one of the villagers' heads on your freaking bed in the middle, and like one of the horse villagers like, what? Again.
It's one of those weird droids you dig up.
Exactly. It's like, it's
broken on the bed.
On the bed. Oh god.
Nice place you built up for yourself here, buddy. It'd be a shame if something happened.
If something happened to it, it's like pushes a table over.
Pushes your like collection of bugs over, and you're like,
no. Yeah. No, Tom Nook is definitely like mafia, and he's got like cousins and stuff in the game. They like help you out. They're like, it's great. It's great. It's perfect character. I love him. He's one of my favorites. Animal Crossing on the Switch is to go. They announced
it's good because their last version was pretty disappointing. So I'm excited for this to come back to kind of its Tom Nook.
It's coming to the full console, which is what's making it big. This is March 20th, 2020. So 3/20.
I know it's a long wait.
It is a long wait, but the holidays are going to be here without you even think about it. And the games that they've announced is already filling.
I mean, if I get my Switch by the end of the summer, I'm going to have a lot of things to catch up on anyway. So
totally. Luigi's Mansion 3 was announced last year, but here we have it full gameplay and announcement.
Looks way better than Part 2.
Oh yeah.
Way more exciting than Part 2. So good for them.
What else? We had another big one. A couple of you can't have an announcement of Nintendo without having new characters for Smash Brothers, and they announced the entire the hero from the Dragon Quest games is now a playable character.
So, I saw the picture of them all laid out, and I was like, wow, I didn't know I was nostalgic for Dragon Warrior. Like, I looked at all the characters, I'm like, I think I played half of these heroes.
You did, and they're all the same character, and you basically can switch the skin, but it's
like the Zelda colors, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because they're all the hero, the sword and the shield, and they all have kind of this thing. That looked awesome. I'm a Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest fan. I'm all for it. But the big one, again, and this is back to on theme of the entire talk that we've been talking about, how Microsoft is just really like a service now, and they've made buddy with everybody. They obviously made a partnership with Microsoft because they own Rare, and they got the rights for Banjo-Kazooie to show up into Smash Brothers, which is huge. He's been a hugely requested character. He's a famous N64 character. People play him. He was a character on the Nintendo system, but he was taken away from him because they didn't Nintendo really own them. And now he's back. He gets to play with.
I mean, this partnership is. I mean, they're becoming just perfectly linked.
Yeah, it's like it's peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah, we're going to be playing our chocolate on that peanut butter. This is I just don't see how you can stop Xbox.
The xCloud factor with your Switch, you're going to be able to fire up your Xbox from your Switch sitting on your couch or wherever.
Yeah, it's going to be glorious. And also, I have all my friends on there already. So
yeah, you're going to have a friend. It's going to happen. Without a doubt. And of course, right. So now we're going to get to the little small talk that we had earlier. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, I think, where we talked about how Netflix was going to show up to E3, and I guess this was it. Netflix is, I guess they partnered up with a game developer, and they're making a tactics style, like a Final Fantasy tactics style game based on the Dark Crystal series.
What? That looks great.
And it looks good. Like, if you saw the gameplay on it, I'm like, I'll play it. You know,
that feels like a great Switch game for me.
It's like tactics / XCOM in a way, like a little bit of both. So I'm okay with it.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for a new kind of tactics game. Fire Emblem's the tactics game also look great. Looks a little Persona, which is a whole nother level of tactics, right? Persona.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Persona, if you're a fan of the Fire Emblems game, you're getting a lot of that on the Switch.
Two coming together.
The Switch is definitely your JRPG system for sure. Mm-hmm. They announced a lot of the Trials of Mana game, and they also announced like a whole
Secret of Mana 2, like a remix.
They announced a whole package of all the manas, like all those.
Those were some colossally good JRPGs from back in the day. If you're young, if you've never played the Mana series, I mean, they're on par with Final Fantasy. They just never.
Right, which is funny because
they're like the games that people who like games talk about. The Secret of Mana series.
Collection of Mana. Today it came out today. They were like, here you go, and they pushed it out for the Switch today. So they basically hit go, and they announced it on the Switch store, and it came out. It comes with first 3 Mana games, which is Final Fantasy Adventure for Game Boy, which is they called it Final Fantasy Adventure game here in the US because Final Fantasy had like the name.
Right.
No one knew, but honestly, it was a Secret of Mana game, and Secret of Mana for Super Nintendo, and the third game now titled Trials of Mana for the English language debut. So yeah, that's the big one there. So there we go. Collection of Mana. It's awesome.
If you want to go back to your JRPG roots, right? That's some Mana games.
Right. Witcher 3 is coming. Complete game. Again, I know we talked about...
so I know we talked about
Project...
running other games on the Switch as probably the upper limits. Is Witcher 3 the upper limits of the Switch? Like how?
Oh, man. I don't know how they're doing it, but...
How are they doing it? Witcher 3 is not insignificant game. That is a huge port.
Complete edition with all of the additions and whatnot. You're getting all of that later this year. Also, they announced 2 more Resident Evil games. So now that makes it the only game that isn't on the console. So we got to talk about the Switch just as a kind of like this like hierarchy of owning all these games, how everyone's throwing these games. So now you can get Resident Evil 0, 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 all on the you can't get 2 because they announced it as a remaster. They didn't make like a re-release, like an old version re-release. So but who knows when? And maybe they'll port it eventually.
Yeah,
but so that those we've got God, there's a bunch of other games that they've been released, like the Witcher series is one. They announced Panzer Dragoon.
Wow, that's an old one.
Well, not only is it an old one, it's never been re-released.
Wow.
The only version of the game that exists. Okay, I lie. There's 2 versions of the game that were released: Sega Saturn and Windows 95 PC version.
Did I play it on the Saturn? I feel like maybe I played. No, I probably played it on Windows 95 because I didn't own a Saturn.
There was like the original version of Panzer Dragoon. There was Panzer Dragoon Orda, which was on the original Xbox.
Is that? Do they have like big mechs?
No. That's the one where you're flying around on a dragon that has like a locking laser mechanism, where you're like flying around like over a river.
Right. Was that like a release title for the Saturn? I feel
it was a release title for it was a release title for the Xbox, the original Xbox.
That's right.
There was there was Panzer Dragoon Orda, which is technically the 3rd version of the game. There was Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2 on Saturn. And then they released a big RPG, Panzer Dragoon Saga, on Saturn, which I will let you know, the copy of that game goes for about $300.
It's going to drop in price now that it's coming out on the Switch.
No, because it hasn't come. That version of it hasn't come out yet. But this sets precedence that if this does well, Sega will release more remasters of the Panzer Dragoon series.
It's bonkers that we're getting just crazy good new releases for the next year, all the way to 2020, and then crazy good remastered releases going into 2020. Like, where are we going to?
But they're all downloadable on a handheld.
It's crazy. This is why I feel bad for all those sucker commuters that drive to work, right? Like, I'm like, dude, when do you get time to play?
I know. Yeah, I do envy you. Like, I know. Like, I like my truck and all that, but nothing makes me want. I wish I could just hop on and like hit a button and let it drive and be able to like, let me catch up or play a couple levels of this.
Oh, dude, without the kids screaming or like without the things in the house telling you need to get done and all that stuff.
Yeah. No, I get it. So, the whole New York commute thing, people playing like their 3DS or whatever. I mean, I get it. I would have loved to have lived that lifestyle a little bit. You know, I never got it. I didn't go to college to do that kind of stuff. To like do the like college drive or hop on like the public transit and play their like game or.
Oh, in New York City, yeah. I mean, you pay for that, but I'm up here in Syracuse taking the bus to work, so it's not bad at all.
Yeah. Contra. We got a new Contra, 4-player local online multiplayer for 4 players. And
I'm down with that.
Not only did they announce a new Contra, they were like, here you go, here's a new Contra. They were like, oh, by the way, Contra Anniversary Collection available today. Entire collection of Contra.
Hopefully it's the last one you'll ever need. I just... I think I've bought the Contra collections once or twice. But
right.
I'm excited for that too. Contra, why not? I mean, the weird thing is that now I've got all these games I can play with my kid, right? I can play Contra with my kid. I can play platformers.
Yeah, they're like robots shooting freaking red big bullets. It's not big bloody, like that's what I like about those games. It's like I sit there and play them and they're like not big bloody games. They are violent in the act of shooting things, but most of the time you're shooting like aliens.
Yeah, as long as you're shooting aliens, I'm fine.
Yeah.
She gets aliens and zombies. I'm totally fine. She's fine with the zombies as well.
Yeah, I think that was the big announcement for today. One thing that we skipped, and I think we can talk about it as old people, and you're not going to get to play it, but we finally got gameplay and a release date for Final Fantasy VII remake.
That's on the Switch?
No.
What's
it is
on?
100% exclusive on PlayStation 4.
Oh, all right, well. I guess that's where it was back in the day.
Yeah. I think Sony has something to do with it. I think they kind of funneled a little money into the remake.
Like, give me the exclusive right now. It looks good. I I feel like I'm done with the Final Fantasy series. I don't know.
I was. I've
If it
been
was a
done.
new Tactics, I would line up.
Right. Okay. So that's your in that you like
That's
the tactics style.
I love the tactics.
I stopped playing Final Fantasy after 10.
I think
When 11 became
my last one.
8 was a good one. Which again they announced a
That's
remaster for the Switch. So that means that your Nintendo Switch can now have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So wait, 7 is on the Switch.
7, the original, like the PlayStation looking one. You can download a digital copy of it. So you can download 7. You can download 8 now. Well, not now.
They're putting out the remastered one.
The remastered 8, 9, which is the fun. I have the original disc of that one. 10, which was the Titus one with the the weird volleyball game in it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it had the word soccer volleyball looking game thing. I forgot. Blitzball, I think is what it's called. And then 11 was the first MMO for PC and.
I remember I played 11, the MMO online. That was quirky to say.
It's quirky. Had some fun characters, but it was. And then 12 was the chick with the bunny ears and the.
The woman with the bunny ears.
Well, was she a woman? I don't know. She was.
She wasn't a chick. Let's just put that there. Yeah. Be the change you want to be, right?
Yeah. I know, but it's just more along the lines of this character was weird. She was just weird.
A lot of JRPG characters are weird. So yeah, I'm with you there.
For sure.
And then I don't know, 15 looked like whatever the most recent one looked like a post-apocalyptic Backstreet Boys. It looked like a band came together with swords to.
Yeah, I haven't played any of that. I do like the fact that they released like a down version of that. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
So there's a mobile version of Final Fantasy 15. 15 is the newest one. There's a mobile version of it, and you think it's like, oh, it's just it's the entire game.
Oh shit!
But like chibi form, they've all they down graphics them and made them like cartoony, and they program the entire game so you can play the entire game on your iPad or on your phone.
Well, maybe not on my iPad, but I still have the iPad too, folks. Don't judge.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy looked great. It called me back a little bit. I was like, you know what? I want to play that game. I want to play a Final Fantasy 7. The stories got a little crazy once they got into the higher, I don't know. It got
indecipherable. It just couldn't deal with it. I think every time I get nostalgic for a JRPG game and I put it on, I just don't have I don't want to say mental fortitude. I don't have the time to invest in becoming invested. It doesn't, right? I can't, I don't have the time to press the button past 40 miles of text, right?
Right, and so Final Fantasy VII has gone action-based, so you are literally Cloud running around and you hit attack.
That could be fun then, yeah.
There are 2 ways of play. From what I saw the gameplay is you can kind of go through and queue up attacks and move, and you're moving faster.
Oh, like Wild Arms.
And then also you can slow down and stop, and then kind of go through menus to select things.
That's awesome.
So it's looking fun. I'm a little concerned about what they're doing with the release of the game. I've thought it wasn't going to be episodic, but now apparently it is again. Like they said that it wasn't. It was. But the release of the game is, they announced the day. It's March 20th or whatever. It's again pretty close to the same day as Animal Crossing, which is weird. Mm-hmm. But there it shows 3/3/20, so it's the 3rd of March next year, and they showed the game and you could buy the game. So they had all these funky releases $59.99 for the game. It comes on 2 Blu-ray discs. Wow,
that's big.
Right. But then they said that they're splitting the game up into multiple games, and the entire Midgar, the Escape of Midgar, is 1 game. So what are you getting in these discs? Is it 2 discs just for the Escape of Midgar, and then you're done? I feel like no one's talked about that. I haven't found one single article about hey, wait a minute, guys. They only showed us Midgar. They didn't show us anything past that. that's all they've made, is that all we're getting with these 2 Blu-ray discs? Like, holy moly!
That's a that's a lot. I don't know. I mean, the graphics look great enough that it could.
It looked absolutely beautiful.
I don't know. You keep me posted.
I will. They announced
let's talk about the opposite of that, right? Well, just State of Decay 2, one of my favorite zombie games.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It's an Xbox Pass game, right? So you could download it, play co-op, play PvP, whatever you want to do, kill zombies, build up your base. They dropped Heartland, which is a new DLC. It's story-based, so it's a little bit more strict in how you run it.
Right.
But if you have the Xbox Pass, you get the DLC.
Right, you do.
Which is bonkers, right? There's not many games out there that have that sort of continuous kind of layout. A DLC comes out, but Xbox seems to be really dedicated to that, right? So here's, I don't know.
Again, they've made it so that
they do
that's kind of weird to me. Now that I've thought about it,
you have to buy for expansions. You have to, even World of Warcraft, you're buying the DLC, but Xbox is like, here you go, keep playing.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Now that you mentioned that, because if I'm a Game Pass player, let's say, for example, Gears 5. Gears 5 is coming out. It looked great. The trailer, I thought, didn't show much gameplay, but they did show like a really good. Gears has always been one of those, like, let's put a good CG trailer with really good music and really pull those emotions. They did a really good Billy Elliot song, Eilish song on it, which I really liked. Anyway, good trailer. But here's a game that's known for having maybe some DLC or some whatever. If I buy it on Xbox Game Pass, or don't buy it, they give it to me on Xbox Game Pass, do I still have to pay like money for the DLC later, or is it just going to show up in the Game Pass as well?
I don't know. See that? I mean, I that's what I expect. I'm like, oh, I could play this game, but I have to pay for the DLC. But then I'm like, well, what happens if I cancel my pass and I have all this DLC that's not? So they have to figure that out. I don't know how that's going to work.
But for maybe it just shows up, just like everything else. They're already taking your money monthly.
It's games as a service now, right? So that's what it's just games as a service.
It is a weird world. And there's a part of me that hates it because I'm like, I don't own anything. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't own anything. And I just get to play all of this.
It's so much easier. I mean, like you know me, I got rid of all my media. I've got a big old sack of DVDs down there that I'm like, why didn't I get rid of that 10 years ago? Why do I still have this? No one wants them, right? So, but I love it. I love it. I don't even buy games. I pay the premium. I'm willing to pay $60 for a game that's at Best Buy for $50, just because I don't want to have to deal with the media anymore. So it's great. I'm a mad.
Oh yeah. Like you're all digital. You've gone all digital
now. Yeah. I've gone 100% digital. In fact, Jordan, our buddy, lent me Red Dead Redemption 2, and every time I go to play it, I'm like, really? I got to deal with this disc bullshit? Like, I just...
But the funny part is, do you have it in the disc player? What have you taken out to put another disc in?
Movies. I have Studio Ghibli movies on DVD.
You need to get those digital.
I do need to get them digital. I have them digital, but our server is... not as reliable and easy as just putting in the disc. You know? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're on the Almighty Jesus, hands down.
I don't want to flex, but
don't worry, he doesn't listen to our show.
If he does, and if he's watching it, it's a little too slow on our end, and I can't fault it, right? But if the kid wants to watch My Neighbor Totoro, she knows she can put in the disc. She just pushes the button and it ejects.
That's funny, because I don't know what settings he must have on his server, but mine is pumping through really shitty Xfinity here. Upload. Download, it's fine. Upload, it's like capped at 15 or something ridiculously stupid. 10, 11, I think is what it is. And my dad uses it. A couple of my friends use it, and it's sitting in my corner, turned on right there. And they never said that it. As a matter of fact, I've gone to my dad's house and like turned it on and hit button and it plays. So
it does play, but it stutters sometimes.
You can set like the amount of the output, like what the maximum amount the output can give you, like, so that way you're not giving someone a movie at a resolution that they can't take anyway, but that's all you're feeding it to them. It's like putting a giant like a giant pipe in someone's face and like, here, take it, and you're like, your home connection's like, I can't, or vice versa.
My home
Yours is vice versa. Yours is like, give it to me, and he's got it set too low where he's only like trickling the feed out because he doesn't want to affect his upload. And you're like, well, I can get the movie as fast as I want, but you're not feeding it to me fast enough.
Yeah, and that's often that's my problem. But also, you know, I get it. If he's watching it and his mom's watching it and I'm watching it, it's you know.
I'm a big fan of the buying media again for movies because they've been giving digital codes, and digital codes have been giving me Movies Anywhere codes, and Movie Anywhere codes. Once you sign into Movie Anywhere, you then link your iTunes account, your Amazon account, your Google account, your Microsoft account. You link all of them. When I buy a movie, I put the code in Movies Anywhere, and it just shows up on all those services. So on my iPad, I open up iTunes Movies, and there's the movie I just bought as a free download. I open up my Amazon store, it shows up as a movie that I just bought. If you know, cool. So yeah, right. So like, it's a legal way to own these movies digitally and be able to watch them on any of the services that I want. Movies Anywhere,
Hey. We bought all our movies.
Oh no, absolutely. I bought all my movies too. What I'm saying is that feeling of like being able to watch a movie on any service. On any service is kind of weird.
That's kind of nice, yeah. Because you can run it on your iPad through the apps real easy and things like that.
It just feels illegal. What I'm saying is, I can open up Amazon and I can see the same movie that I can open up on my iTunes.
That is weird, but I like it.
But I like it. So, Movies Anywhere, I don't know what juju you made with the movie studios to make it happen, but keep doing it. Don't go away.
Can we get that for TV, please?
Yes, we do not have it for TV.
Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ.
So I have certain shows that I've purchased on like Amazon because it's faster, because I used to buy Amazon Fire Stick because they're super cheap to just shove into things. But now I've got a couple Apple TVs and I'm like, but now I have to download the Amazon app. It's just a mess.
Fucking shit. Yeah, no, I know. You got media everywhere. And I've stopped buying TV shows because of that. Because I'm like, well, it's hard to watch it where I want to watch it. So what is this garbage?
Right. I'm
100% subscription based. Though I might buy a digital antenna because I can't find how to, like, maybe I need the U.S. World Cup. I'm like, where do I watch this? How do I watch this? What's going? I'm paying for 3 streaming services. Dude, the women's World Cup.
I know they kicked it. Was it 13-0?
I was getting
guys. We're getting a little jockey here, but no, absolutely. If you didn't know, the Women's World Cup is about to start, and this is the first round at the moment.
And poor Thailand.
Thailand met us in the first round, and not only did we like kick their teeth in, we counted each tooth and kicked it in. Like it was like when you used to play
the first 5 minutes. Yeah, the first like
5 minutes they scored like five goals or
in the second half. In the second half. The first half I was like, wow, it's only 3-0. Last time we played Thailand it was 9-0. We crushed them, and then it was like, every 4 minutes I was getting an update that they scored another goal. I'm like, crap, just why is there even penalty time?
Yeah, no, I was keeping up with it, and then I eventually found someone that was like kind of giving a live update, and I was just watching it.
Yeah, that's what I did, and it was great. It was great watching every.
No, goal. It's exciting. It's always exciting to see like the home country in something like that. It's like that's why people. Like
I forgot what it feels like to like be proud of something the U.S. was doing. Like I just forgot. Like it's been so long since I was like.
It felt foreign.
It did. It really did. I was like, go U.S. This is something. Go dominate the Women's World Cup. So anyway, yeah. So that's about as jockey as I get. I get excited every 4 years for the World Cup games.
Oh man. So board. We'll end it. We're about to end this, but I want to talk about Jimmy's. Since your session's over with, what's next for you on the board game horizon, real quick? Since E3, since you don't watch E3 as much, we kind of consume it in news media. I've been trying to watch all the presses as much as I can.
Yeah,
what's your advice? What's your next step? Like, what are you doing now?
Well, right now I'm prepping for my next campaign, so I don't want to drop any spoilers, but it's going to be taking place in Waterdeep, which is a city campaign, which is something I've always dreaded running, and I'm excited to run it. But Jordan is supposed to run a Star Wars campaign, but he also just had a baby. So I don't know how that's going to happen. I think he's now realizing, we both warned him, right? But he was I can still manage it. But I think
can do it.
Yeah, I think he might be realizing the scope. Although he did stream his brother's sister today, so he found a half hour to do that work with his sister. So
Yeah, because baby is a sack of
half hour.
potatoes at the moment right now.
Yeah.
When they're first born, they're like just like wiggly, like sleeping
But also,
masses for
you're
the
like a
first.
bag of nerves because you're like, this baby's gonna die if I don't watch it every 2
Right,
minutes.
yeah,
Is
sure,
it still
sure.
breathing? Is it still breathing?
Breathing.
Like
Oh yeah.
so,
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
anyway,
Oh,
I
yeah.
just I think once he gets his life back in order, right? Because baby's a big deal.
So I'm going to dedicate the last 5 minutes of the show to him. Congratulations on being a father. He is one of us.
Yes.
He is one of us. I'm not going to give any details or anything like that because it's not my place to give any details or names or anything like that. But I will kind of give a little funny story without giving any details. This child was born on a Monday morning, and
was it Monday? Not. I thought it was Tuesday.
Tuesday morning at like
Tuesday.
8 o'clock in the morning. We had been messaging him as a collective friend group going, where's this kiddo? Where's this kiddo? Where's this kiddo? And
What's the deal?
What's the deal? And we didn't hear back that the kiddo was even born till like Wednesday or something like that. Kiddo was born, whatever. And, there's a couple details or whatnot. And I was like, but he kept keeping like the sex of the baby a secret. He was like, oh,
We don't need any details.
We don't need any details, but I'm like,
name.
Yeah, just give me a name and wait. Like, I don't care. I just give me a name. Wouldn't give it. I was like, so it was kind of pushing my nerves. And eventually, I think it was like Friday, right? He finally like told everyone. And let me tell you how geeky our friend Jordan is, guys. If you have ever had a D&D player that writes a full backstory and like accents and everything, that's Jordan. He did the same thing for his baby. We got a PDF. We got a 6-page PDF. We had a dossier on this.
And like any good DM, I didn't read it.
No, my favorite part in the group chat was our wonderful friend Pedro was like, "Give me the TLDR.
Give me the TL. Congrats. I'm happy, River. Good for you. Give me the TLDR.
Give me whatever. Yeah." I love it. Absolutely love it.
Plus, I want to hear it from him. I don't need to read
I want to hear it from him. So I know. I haven't heard it from him. I'm upset that I haven't heard it from him. So I'm going to find a way to either bring him on the show.
He's being really greedy.
That's okay. We don't get much as fathers. It's early on. It's like we didn't birth the baby. We console. We help. We want to be equal with all of the sharing. And I totally get it. And this is his way of coping, which is fine. I get it. I'm just saying, like,
I think he's also navigating weird dynamics. I don't know, but we'll get our chance. We'll get our chance.
We're gonna corner him.
Homage to the new Prince of Syracuse.
We're gonna have a maybe a little talk. Bring him in as another father, and I'd like to see what his thoughts are on all of this.
You guys were so right. You guys were so right. That's what.
I'm ready for it. So right.
That's all I want to hear. That's all I want to hear.
You might not hear that first. A good example, I've got a coworker who just had a baby and was like, we gave him all these, like, I was telling him all this and that and the other, and he said, the first 2 weeks, everything you told me was, like, pretty chill. I was like, no, this is happening. And then, like, at, like, the beginning of the second week, the baby woke up. Like, it came out of that, like,
it's a wonder week.
Yeah, and the third week 3 is that, like, reboot. Like, you hear that's where the engine finally gets that good gulp of gas, and they're waking up and they're moving around and they're crying and they're pooping. And you're like, what just happened? So yeah, I'm excited for week 3. We haven't gotten that far yet, so
that's when we'll be around, right? That's when
we're gonna be like, tell us we were right.
Tell us we were right. Yeah. This has been a fun Star Wars campaign. Get back to me in 2 years, right?
Get back to me.
Yeah, anyway. So congratulations to Jordan, friend of the show.
Go watch.
Apologies for botching your Twitch stream last week. We'll figure it out.
We got it. Hey, if you didn't realize, I was able to stream the Xbox conference here, and I watched it and was kind of commenting and hopping on chat and whatnot.
And did we get the sound?
We did get the sound.
We got the copyright violation from Namco?
We did, from Namco. And they didn't take the video down or what, they just monetized it, which again, Eddie, a friend of the show, he had been like, well, why don't I see other YouTubers do it? And it's like, yeah, because they've got money and they've got tons of followers. But we got hit. We got hit for the Tales of Arise, or the Tales game from Bandai Namco. It caught the audio and immediately copyright hit it.
It's so funny. It's crazy. Speaking of the algorithm, don't believe the hype. That Sonic shit that's out there, it's garbage, not true. Don't believe that. Don't believe that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I can't believe people fell for it. I'm like, this is referencing a Reddit thread. Why do people think this is real? My favorite is people would go to the article and then go to the Reddit and then post without reading all of the people being like, it's fake. And then, oh, God. So anyway, but as someone with news alerts popping up for Sonic the Hedgehog, I was ready to believe. And then I was like, wait, this doesn't look right. So wait till you double verify it, people. Don't spread fake news.
Don't spread fake news, guys.
Not about Sonic. We need to believe.
I will tell you the realest piece of news. I'm going to end it. I'm going to mic drop it, and we're going to go. Music here for. Like, subscribe, follow, guys. My last bit of my takeaway from all of E3, guys. Stadia sucks.
There you go.
There you go, guys.
There you go.
Enjoy. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
Love each other. Bye.